Welcome into the Players Club. Now for your host, Santana Moss, London Fletcher, and Sean Springs. Joined by special guest, Super Bowl champion Brian Mitchell.
Welcome into the Players Club. We're out here in Madrid, but this is the bye-week edition of the Players Club. We are your hosts. I'm London Fletcher, a.k.a. Big Fletch. We got
Sean Springs,
a.k.a. Bluefoot. And we got Santana Moss, a.k.a. Cowboy Killer, a.k.a. 8 to the 9, a.k.a. Giant Slayer. Fellas, man, we're going to talk about this bye week and kind of approach the bye week. Blue, I'm going to start with you, man. How'd you approach the bye week?
Well, you know, for me, I like to stay around the house because, as you know, we didn't have many off days during the regular season. So Tuesday was really our off day. Saturday, we had a little bit of time. But that was my time to kind of reset, get ready for the second half of the year, stay around the house, do a little stretching. I would try to get my mind off, like you say, maybe potentially go somewhere for 2 days, like a staycation. But for the most part, I had my family, and I just kind of chilled around the house, man.
Yeah, it varied with me.
Right.
Early in my years, I used to do what you was doing, staying around the house. Later in my years, I found out, let's take a trip or something. Relax, get your mind off of things that's going on. You actually build up something well enough where you can get away and exhale a little bit. So it was good to finally say, okay, I'm here. I'm not satisfied, but I'm here at a spot or a point in my career where I'm comfortable enough to get away and allow my body to reset,
And I think about this. For the most part, to call it a bye week, that's kind of a little, was a misnomer, I don't know. Because most of the time, you rarely get a week. Mm-hmm. You'll probably get a weekend, like a 4-day weekend or something like that. But I would say this, when I was in my younger days, especially when it was the Rams, we used to get some pretty good time off. I might go to Vegas for 3 or 4, a couple days, 3 days.
I'd have been like Rodman. I would have came back. I wouldn't have came back.
Go to L.A. for a tough couple of days.
Yeah.
I stretched that thing out. But as I got older, I thought it was harder for me to turn things off. And I may not have been playing that weekend. The game was always on my mind. And you had children, you had family. So he's like, okay, how can we still spend time with them? In D.C., a lot of times we would just do a staycation.
Yeah.
We go to a spot in D.C.,
the area,
Georgetown, whatever. Do a staycation there. But it's just hard to kind of to shut off. I would say this too. Even as we look at this team,
much needed.
For us, much needed. The amount of injuries we have. It's a late bye week. Another year of having a late bye week. How can these guys, this team, get things turned around over the last 6 games?
I think coming off the bye, obviously traveling to Spain and now I'm being home, so it's much needed. One, because of the injuries, and two, is, it's so late in the season, you need to refresh.
Yes.
I think it gives you an opportunity for the coaches to self-scout, but it also gives the player opportunity to kind of self-scout and think about what can I do as a man or as a player, as a corner, as a receiver, as a linebacker, quarterback, or whoever. One, to get my body healthy. Two, what are things I need technique-wise or film study-wise I need to do to get better?
It's one of those situations, man. I think we kind of like pass all that. It's all about now, man, how bad. What do you want to leave after this season?
Yes, yeah.
What do you want to be remembered by as a player? We gotten to the point to where you got people already basically saying what you have in your near future of whether you're going to be in the postseason or not. Should we go ahead and start getting ready for next year's draft? And as a player, man, you don't want to hear that. You want to go out here and take advantage of each of these games you have in front of you, one game at a time.
Yep.
It starts with one. You know what I'm saying? Yep. It starts with the game before the bye, and then we can go on after the bye and say, we got a whole new slate.
Yep.
So I just feel like every guy, man, should have that kind of mindset, man, that, look, all we need is one.
Right.
Wherever one it is, take that one game, and let's build from there.
And this season's not over by any means.
It's funny because regardless of what your record is, whether you're winning games and you're guaranteed to go to the playoffs, or you feel like you're going to go to the playoffs, or you're in our situation where you're scrapping and clawing to get wins, we're judged the same on each game.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you're probably judged even more harshly
when you're losing.
When you're losing, and especially at the end of a low kind of losing season. I hope that's not the case, but it's just true because you're trying to evaluate, hey, who are the guys that I know I can build with as a foundational piece, a guy that I know can help get us back to where we want to be. So you're dealing with that. But every time we take that field, man, winning is on our mind.
Yeah, 100%.
Playing our best and performing our best is what we're trying to do. Speaking of guys that stepped up and played good football for us, what have you seen from the leadership of a guy like a Marcus Mariota, Tanner?
Well, I just seen a guy that's showing these guys by example. We get to see it from the standpoint of watching him play.
Yeah.
But it looks to me that this guy is showing you that, hey, man, I'm a veteran in this game. I got a lot of, tread on my tires, but at the same time, with that being said, I'm going to go out here and give you my all. Each and every time I step on this field, you're not going to see that much of a drop-off. Don't get me wrong. When it comes to what we see from Jaden, it's a little different because he's young, he's youth, and he has some of the things that a young Marcus Mariota would have had or be able to still use. But, I mean, you can't – I'm not surprised. I'm a little surprised, but at the same time, I'm not surprised when I'm watching Mariota do some of the same things that we see or we expect out of Jaden.
Yep.
So I love to see the leadership on the field, just how he's approaching every game as, look, follow me. I got you. At the end of the day, I'm going to put every guy in position to go out there and make a play and be able to say they had an impact on this game.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'll tell you this. After the break, we are talking about our all-time greatest Washington legends.
Welcome back to the Players Club. Hey, fellas, we've been having a great time here in Madrid. But before we get to talking about some of the fun that we've been having or experiencing, it's time to take a deep dive in some of the greatest ever to have worn that burgundy and gold, man. It's time for Fastlane, presented by Eastern Automotive Group. Any car, any way, for everyone since 1988. So this segment here, man, we're gonna talk about one of those guys, one of our favorites, or either one of those guys that we consider the best to ever wear that burgundy and gold. I'm gonna start with you, London.
Man, listen, this is an iconic franchise, and there's been a lot of iconic players and people that have been associated with this franchise and that have worn the burgundy and gold. For me, the guy that I'm going to start off with, I'm going to go with Coach Gibbs.
Yes, sir.
Coach Gibbs,
Old ball
man.
coach.
Old ball coach.
Hall of Fame head coach, 3-time Super Bowls winning head coach, did it with 3 different starting quarterbacks.
Yes.
Nobody has done it since then. Nobody did it before him. It's unheard of what he was able to do. We all had the pleasure and the honor of playing for Coach Gibbs when he came back out of retirement. I wish I had more opportunity to play with him. You guys played 4 years or 3.
Yep.
Tanner, 3 seasons for him?
Yep.
You played 4 years.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I played 1 for him. But I just think when you think about Washington and you think about coming into that building and you see those 3 Super Bowl trophies, those Lombardi trophies, you can't help but think about Coach Gibbs and being the architect of that dynasty.
And for me, my guy is Mr. Longevity himself, Darryl Green.
Yeah.
When you think about burgundy and gold and you think about the cornerback position, because that's special to me, I can't think of a player that has worn a uniform more for once, because he had 20 years of outstanding football, but you can't think about it. Anybody who's played at such a high level for so long.
Yeah.
Darryl Green represents that. And Tanner, we talk about it. Playing corner is not easy for 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
But 20 years playing on the highway, Moss, Rice,
Michael Irvin.
So many
he
of them.
checked them all.
Yeah.
Check them all.
And he's done it at a high level. And Darryl Green, for me, ultimate professional, ultimate burgundy and gold guy for me.
Yeah, and the player for me is the guy who basically I can say that we probably can thank for just, allowing, guys that look like us to play for this franchise, and that's Bobby Mitchell.
Yeah.
He was one of the first guys that of our descent to play for this franchise. He is the first. To play for the Washington organization or the Washington franchise. This guy put up the numbers in the past, in the receiving yards and in the backfield. Yeah. And he was just a pioneer. He was a true trailblazer for what we look at this game at today. So he's a guy that you got to always give. Because we get caught up in some of the guys of today and forget about those guys of those years. Yeah. So I want to always shine a light on his name.
Yeah.
It's great. It's hard, man, because there's been so many.
There's so many left
people
out
associated with this franchise, so it's hard to just pick a couple guys.
Coming up after the break, we're going to catch up with my guy, B. Mitch.
Welcome back to the Players Club. Right now we're at the James Joyce, but earlier this week we caught up with legend Brian Mitchell out at the practice facility.
But that's what I plan on doing, returning everything. Be scratching and biting and fighting, baby, and I'm willing to do all three of them.
Welcome back to the Players Club. We got B. Mitch, Brian Mitchell. Should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Will be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we out here in Madrid.
Just like you, brother.
This the bye-week edition. Full disclosure, B. Mitch, Santana, and myself, we on sleep deprivation. Just to, just to let y'all know. B. Mitch, man. What's it like for you? I don't know if you played in an international game before. This is my first time actually being a part of an international game. What's this experience like, or what was that experience like for you?
Well, I played in preseason. We played against the San Francisco 49ers the year, right? I think it was the same year we won the Super Bowl. Okay. Went out there and played, and it's just fun when you go to another country and you watch the love that people have for this game.
Where'd y'all play?
We played in London at Wembley Stadium, and walking around town, people walking up to you from London, telling you how much they watch it, what time of the morning they're watching you play football, and it's overwhelming. But then to come out here now, being in Madrid, I've been to Barcelona with NFL Europe, been to Frankfurt and things like that, but then this is the first time a game has been played here. And you look at where we at, people know Real Madrid around the world, but still they want to know about this game, American football, as well, because it's kind of a little barbaric in a sense.
No, I was going to ask you, how dope is it to now be sitting on this side of it? We don't have to worry about focusing on the game. We have to talk the game, but we can actually explore a little more and get out and see the sights.
I think it was easier when I came to play. I had the time to rest.
Yeah.
This time I had no time to rest. Nah, really though, but it's fun. It's fun being on this side of the game. Look, I love the game of football. Yeah. Just think about it. It's something I saw as a young age and said I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And it took me from Ella Road in Plaquemine, Louisiana to Madrid, Spain now.
That's right.
And watching other people come along and be able to live out their fantasies, it's something that I really, really admire and I really, really try to push. Mm-hmm. I tell guys all the time, I came from a small high school, small college. I was able to live my dream. Yeah. Right. A lot of guys come from these bigger colleges and stuff, and they don't like. I heard you all talking with Marcus and saying about how Dan believed in his guy more than they believe in themselves sometimes. And I think guys have to just understand, no matter where you're from, you have to believe in you if you're gonna get to where you want to be. And I think that's the main thing. I always try to push the guys. Everybody's strong. Everybody fast that play football. But everybody don't have that confidence that when they're going to be doing something when everybody else is at home or not looking.
Well, we got to talk about something Sean don't know anything about. Sorry about this, Tanner. Super Bowl.
Excuse me.
Super Bowl, man.
Excuse me. Let me step out.
Let's see that Super Bowl ring.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
You touched on it. Y'all mentioned it.
That's the greatest
the
team.
The 91 Super Bowl team.
That's the greatest Super Bowl team.
Tell us about that team, because I don't think enough people talk about how dominant you guys were.
Yeah, I don't think
Art Monk and Charles.
Yeah, we had people on this team, but the thing about it is, people look at teams and they you remember they say Super Bowl team,
right?
Yeah.
But they start looking for individuals, and if you want to look for individuals, you had Darryl Green on that team. Yeah. You had Art Monk on that team. Charles Mann was on that team. Dexter Mann wasn't on that team. Wilbur Marshall was on that team. Gary Clark, Ricky Sanders. You had guys like that on that team, but the ultimate thing is, we were a team.
Right.
And I remember guys like Terry Orr and Ron Middleton and Donnie Warren.
Yeah.
Guys that you don't say as a superstar, but you know what those guys did? the same thing on every play. They never made a mistake.
Yeah.
You know, we had a running game. We had a running game. We had a defense that was unbelievable. Special teams was ranked in the top 3.
Yeah.
And when you get every category, when you get all 3 of your phases in the top 5,
Yeah.
kind of hard to beat that. And the thing about it, like people talk about older teams. You look at the age on that team, it was about 26.2 years, the average age on that team. They're one of the oldest teams ever. But nobody made mistakes, and they won.
Went to the Art Monk event. Obviously, Art Monk was on that team. That was one of the things he talked about. Just the bond between you guys. Like
listen,
it was like it was like no other, man.
The thing I look for in teams, just like us, we travel with each other, hang out.
Right.
We have a chemistry and a bond
Yeah.
that I think that team had. Where when I walked in, the coaches didn't have to say a damn thing for me to understand what their team was about.
Yeah.
I just watched the guys work, and I just started imitating what they were doing.
Yeah.
Because everybody did the same thing. They came there to work. They work hard. They play hard. That's one thing about that team. People always talk about how good they were.
Yeah.
We were
They
champions
talked
off
about
the field, too. I mean, let you know that. We had fun with each other. We had fun.
We can.
There wasn't no camera phones back in the day.
Yeah, no, but we took care of each other.
Yeah.
Right.
You would, if you saw one, you saw 25
Yeah.
at somebody's house, all together at a restaurant or whatever. That team was. That's why it's family. You know,
The best team you was on?
You see how we react.
No
we
doubt.
act
Was
to
that
each other
the
with
best
each other.
team you were on?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah. By far.
Speaking of that team and y'all winning the Super Bowl and how many, I mean, you just talked about some studs. And, you know, talking about studs is one thing. A few of those guys are Hall of Famers, you
Yeah.
know, and it could be some more that
Yeah.
we probably could be talking about. But we're talking about you and being mentioned in the Hall of Fame, London as well. But for you, man, like I said before, like B. Mitch, I knew a lot about your career. Didn't know the numbers, but I remember seeing you for the first time when I played the game against you. And I'm like, man, that's B. Mitch. That's the guy be running the punts and the kicks back. That's like, if you didn't know anything about somebody, you know what they do, what they were special at.
Right.
Man, all these years of your numbers is being cemented there, and people knowing that, hey, this guy, when he left the game,
Yeah.
he was at the top of the charts
All
at what
time.
he did.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
How does it feel to now be recognized? And I know it's not enough, but how does it feel to now to be recognized finally by these guys who, I guess you could say, quote unquote, who select the guys for the Hall of Fame?
Well-
and where do you want to see this thing go this year?
I would like to see me in the Hall of Fame. To be honest with you. I would love to see that. You know, but the thing about it, like, man, listen, bro. Every time someone says something like that, you know, when people say future Hall of Fame is supposed to be in the Hall of Fame, all that stuff made me feel good.
Yeah.
Gail Sayers said B. Mitch could have played in any era. You know,
wow.
you hear Gail Sayers saying that. That was a bad man right there.
Yes,
You know, that made me feel good. But the ultimate thing is, listen, bro. I left this game 22 years ago.
Right.
And there's numbers that I left ain't nobody got close to yet.
Yeah.
And people want to say, well, you didn't do this, you didn't. I don't care what I didn't do.
Yeah.
Right.
I know what I did.
Right.
When I left this game, I left some hell of numbers.
Yeah.
Just like
Right.
this man left a lot of hell of numbers. And if those numbers still stand,
You give
enough
up.
said.
Well, here's another part. Sorry to cut you off, Sean. We talk about impacting winning and losing. So offensive guys, they gon', you know, if you're a receiver, quarterback, running back, and you're scoring touchdowns, putting up 1,000 yards, all that type of stuff, that's gonna stand out. Defensive player, you a defensive end, you getting sacks and all that type of stuff, corner getting interception. You impacted the game from a standpoint of taking returns back to the house, setting the offense up for a great field position.
Yes.
And those are just the times you touch the football. But what about from just a game plan standpoint? Like, we ain't kicking it to him, man.
Yeah.
We better kick this thing out of bounds before we kick it to him.
That's what people don't understand. I had a lot of teams wouldn't kick to me.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I remember.
But they also, I realized, all these other guys that they talk about, I was tackling them. I cover kicks, I cover punts.
That's right.
And let's be real, I got in the backfield. I averaged over 6 yards a carry one season.
Right.
You know, I can run it. I play quarterback a little bit for you. The whole thing about it is, like, when you talk about a Hall of Famer, it's a guy, like you said, had an impact on the game. But I impacted in many different ways.
Right. Yeah.
That was one year I think I had like 38 receptions or 40-something receptions, and like 35 of them were all for first downs. You know what I'm saying? It's like and you knew I was going to get the ball when I came in the game. The whole thing about it is, like, when I played, guys knew what I was going to be about, and I was going to be in your face talking trash all day.
Well, you
know?
did your job. Somebody got to do their job. Put them in there.
That's right,
Give them
man.
that knock.
The
That's
man,
right.
the myth, 11.
All right, man. Well, that'll do it from the bye week edition of the Players Club.
Players Club was filmed at Big Bear AI Command Center Studio. Big Bear AI offers mission-ready AI for a rapidly evolving world, proudly protecting the Washington Commanders and its fans.